Seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before him in homage, and screaming with a loud voice, he said, "What business do you have in common with each other? What business do we have in common with each other, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I implore you by God, swear to me, do not torment me." For Jesus had been saying to him, "Come out of him, you unclean spirit." Okay, just y'all can read the rest of that. Go on down to verse 25. We're still in Mark chapter 5. Just scroll on down to verse 25. A woman in the crowd had suffered from a hemorrhage for 12 years and had endured much suffering at the hands of many physicians. She had spent all that she had and was not helped at all, but instead had become worse. Some of y'all can testify to that. She had heard reports about Jesus, and she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his outer robe, for she thought, if I touched his clothing, I will get well. Immediately, her flow of blood was dried up, and she felt in her body and knew without a doubt that she was healed from her suffering. Immediately, Jesus, recognizing in himself the power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" His disciples said to him, "Now, you see a crowd pressing in around you from all sides, and you ask, 'Who touched me?'" Still, he kept looking around to see the woman who had done it. And the woman, though she was afraid and trembling, aware of what had happened to her, came and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. Then he said to her, "Daughter, your faith, your personal trust, your confidence in me has restored your health. Go in peace and be permanently healed from your suffering." My God, today. We still in chapter 5 of Mark, right? All right. So in 35, while he was still speaking, some people came from the synagogue official's house. This is talking about Jairus. "Your daughter has died. Why bother the teacher any longer?" Overhearing what was being said, Jesus said to the synagogue officials, "Do not be afraid. Only keep believing in me and my power." And he allowed no one to go with him as witnesses except Peter and James and John, the brothers of James. They came to the house of the synagogue officials, and he looked with understanding at the uproar and commotion, and people loudly weeping and wailing and mourning. When he gone in, he said to them, "Why make a commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but is sleeping." They began laughing scornfully at him, because he knew the child was dead. They knew the child was dead. But he made them all go outside. I love that part. When Jesus tells you to get out. Why are you making all this noise? Get out. He went into the room with the child. Taking the child by hand, he said tenderly to her, "Talitha kumi," which translates from Aramaic, it means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." The little girl immediately got up and began to walk, for she was 12 years old. And immediately they who witnessed the child's resurrection were overcome with great wonder and utter amazement. Okay. Y'all ready to go? The Lord is saying to us, tell the dying and dead to get up. Get up, Talitha, daughter, mama. Get up from your dead situation. Get up from your dead way of thinking. Get up. Get up, man that lives in the tomb. Get up, Lazarus. Jesus had a tendency to go to where the dead people was and speak life, because he came that we might have life and life more abundantly. Too long, too many folks are living in dead and dying situations. Because you were born into a situation that was dying, don't mean you got to live therefore in it and continue on from one generation to the next generation. And every generation is dying in front of you. It's time for us to come to life. We looking at babies. We looking at little girls that look like they've been through hell and back, and they ain't but 12 years old, and they are dying in front of us from one generation to the next. It's time for us to tell our babies, get up and live in the name of Jesus. Oh, I didn't come messing around today. Y'all want me to preach on Mama's Day? I'm going to be a mama. I'm going to be about it. Because I see too many women walking around here in dead mindsets. I see too many men living in dead mindsets that are past curses and generational bondages and generational strongholds that need to be broken, like the man that was living in the tomb. Can't nobody break you from your mess except Jesus come and say, come up out of him. I didn't ask you to talk about it. I need you to get up out of him. When did Jesus tell us to pitch a tent in the tomb? That he didn't come here to earth for us to pitch a tent, build a house. This ain't the three little pigs. We ain't supposed to be bitching and building houses in tombs. But yet and still, we building stuff. We building a life. We building strongholds in our families, and we going from one generation to the next year. And we all living in poverty. We living in depression. We thinking it's okay to be walking in hatred. We think it's okay to be walking around. Every generation on the welfare. Every generation out there doing sex. Everybody do it. Mama and them did it. Grandmama and them did it. That don't mean Jesus meant for you to do it, baby. He said, tell him I said, come up out of the grave. You didn't got too accustomed to your unproductive lifestyle, your mindset. That they have taken up residence in tombs, and demons have held people captive. You can tell when a demon got somebody captive. Those that are discerning, you ain't got to look deep. You just got to see the exterior, because a demon will manifest when the light shows up, babe. Oh, y'all. Hold on. Hold my mute for a minute. I got to walk this out. You can see when a demon has been holding back generations, because when light walks in the room, a demon will manifest. When that demon that had been living in the tomb for all them years and breaking chains, scaring the whole township, they were scared. All Jesus did was get off the boat and start walking, and the demon running, falling at his feet. What you want, Jesus? What you? He said, when the light shows up, demons recognize Jesus. So don't think it's strange when you begin to see the manifestation of something, because the Jesus that's living in you will manifest a demon, and they will be. You don't think it's strange when folks look at you weird and try to get away from you, and they start shaking and all this stuff, because that demon that has been lodged in them is now what you coming to do. Yeah, I came to start a fight. Get up out of the baby. Dislodge yourself from my community. See, when we recognize whose we are, we recognize the authority of what we must do. See, we have to challenge some mindsets that have been lodged, that's been used to and accustomed to living in a